good to have you today again. You're welcome to my today's presentation. So today we'll be looking at an app that I developed, which is called Calorie and Nutrient Advisor App. Um, is an application that is highly um, useful, simple, but very robust. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how this application was developed and what the application can do for you. Okay, so let's go through this application together. So, this application, I target empowering health with generative AI. The Calorie App Advisor was designed to help users make informed decisions about their diet. Now it's really important we watch what we eat, and it would be great to have an app that can help us, in deciding the composition of the meal that we're eating. Or perhaps in an hospital, you want to monitor calorie consumption of patient or resident in a care home. So this app is a handy tool that can aid making a meaningful decision planning in terms of consumption or intake of calories of our food. Okay, so we're going to look at the overview of the project. Okay, so firstly, um, we'll look at identifying various food items in the image. So the whole scenario is this: when a user upload an image of the food they want to consume. This app will help them to identify the various food items in the image. So it will tell you if this is beans, if this is bacon, and this is vegetable, and all of that. So it will give you that analysis. Okay, so this app will also go a long way to help you calculate the total caloric intake in that particular food rather than guessing the quantity of calorie intake in that particular meal. So this app will also go a long way to provide a detailed breakdown of each food items of calorie contribution in that particular meal that you're about to consume or you're about to offer. Okay, and fourthly, it offers a nutritional analysis, including the balance of carbohydrates, fats, fiber, sugar, and other micronutrients in that particular meal that you are about to consume. Okay, so what this app will also do for you is that it gives you recommendation. It will recommend improvements for a healthier diet. Take, for instance, you want to consume a meal. It will give you the composition, the percentage composition of carbohydrate, fats, and all of that, fiber in that meal. So you'll be able to make an informed decision if that meal is right for you. Okay, so next we're going to look at this architectural composition, the system architecture, how this was designed from the beginning to the end, what makes up the entire um, app or project, as you may call it. Okay, so we look at firstly, we look at the front end. The front end is where the user will interact with the application. And on the front end, it was developed with the help of Streamlight, okay, which is a Python-based framework that simplifies the development of interactive web application. Okay, so we also look at um, Python imagery library that was used in managing the processing, ensuring that uploaded images are handled correctly before being sent for analysis. Okay, so you can get the results of um, the composition of the meal. So we also going to look at the back end of this project in continuation of the system architecture. So on the back end, I use Google Gemini Pro version API. This AI system is the core of the application. Once an image is uploaded, the backend sends the image along with a detailed prompt to the API, which returns the nutritional analysis. And I also look at the python.env, which manages environment variables such as the API keys, keeping sensitive information secure. So that's where I warehouse my API key for this project. Now, I also developed some custom functions for the backend specifically to manage uploaded images along with the prompt. Okay, so one of the custom functions is the input image setup, which converts the uploaded image into a format suitable for the API consumption. So I also develop another um, function which gets Gemini respond. Okay, so that interact with the API by sending the user defined prompt and image data, then processes the API response for the results of the uploaded image. Okay, so um, we'll look at the deployment, how uh, the deployment was handled. Okay, so it's very simple. The application is deployed locally using Streamlight, like I said before. Okay, Streamlight handles all of that out of the box. Then we'll look at the development environment. So on the development environment, uh, I use three key areas, which is the Python 3.10. Yeah, I know we currently have a version which is higher than that at the moment, but I decided to use 3.10 for this project. And then I also created a virtual environment to handle um, all my dependencies and requirements for the project. And for the dependencies, um, I used three main dependencies, which was the Streamlight. I also used the .NET env as well as the Python. So just sit back as take you through the application uh, as we also move to the demo. Thank you very much. What's up, guys? So let's look at our application and see how we're going to interact with it. So this is the interface where the users can interact with this Calorie Advisor app. Okay, so on this interface, like I said before, it was built with Streamlight and Python code. So the user will simply just click here, browse, and import the food they want to eat to be able to tell if it's okay for their health based on maybe doctor's prescription, if the food will be healthy for them based on they could have some health challenges or they'll just want to stay conscious. Okay, so after uploading the image, you just click on this button that says tell me about the calories. You click on it. Yeah, so our application is running. Let's sit tight and see what's going to tell us about this meal. Who knows? This meal might be healthy for me, it might not be healthy. There we go. And here is the composition. So our app is telling us here is a nutritional breakdown of the full English breakfast. So it even went further to tell us it's an English breakfast. Okay. Yeah. So it went on to say calorie and micronutrient breakdown. Fried eggs, we have 180 calories, bacon, 200, sausages, 200, and all of that. And went further to give us a total estimate of 890 calories in this food. So, what's your doctor advice? Is your doctor telling you to stay away from a meal that has more than 890 calories. It's up to you. And that's where this app comes very handy to be able to manage your health. Okay. Now, it said this is a rough estimate. Yeah, that's correct. And the exact value will vary based on specific ingredients and portion sizes. Yeah, that's correct. So protein, approximately 20%. Yeah, so this comes handy where you're told that on each day, try as much as possible to eat a certain percentage level of protein, fiber, as the case may be. So this will be a very useful application to maintain our health. Okay. Yeah. So on health assessment, it said this full English breakfast is not considered a healthy meal as it is. You can see the assessment and the advice. So let's look at improvement. It said reduce saturated fat up for lean sausage, turkey bacon, or even skip the bacon entirely. So you can see the advice is giving us. So let's look at the total summary. It said in summary, why enjoyable? The current breakfast lacks balance and high saturated fat content should be a concern. Significant changes, as suggested above, are needed to transform it into a healthier and more nutritious meal. Thank you for my Calorie Advisor app for making me know all of this. So let's try another meal again and let's see if it's going to give us any different advice. So we have one here. Good. Oh, this looks yummy. So let's see if it's worth eating and if it's going to be healthy for us. So our app is currently running. Let's see what's going to give us. Yeah, there you go. Here is the composition. It is impossible to provide an exact calorie count and micronutrient breakdown for the food in the image. Yes, that's correct. And here is the breakdown. Avocado, approximately half a medium, which is 50 kg. Cherry tomatoes, 145 kg. Cucumber, 100. Green bell pepper, 75. Estimated total breakdown, we have all of these, okay? And finally, we have 207 calories as against the previous figure, which was really way high. Okay, so this, I think, to me is really, really good for our health. So, and let's look at the assessment. The salad shows is a relatively healthy choice. Yeah, is rich in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants from the vegetable. You can see the assessment and what he's giving us. So, what's the overall advice here? He said this salad is a great starting point for a healthy meal, but adding lean protein and complex carbohydrate will make it much more nutritious and satisfying. Pay attention to portion sizes and consider adding a small amount of healthy fat, such as nuts or seeds. Yeah, so that's our app for you, and I think this is an amazing app. So let's dive in to see how all of this, was developed. Sit back as we look at this other part of the development here. So here we have our Visual Studio Code where we did all our development for this project. Yes, so what we did before, like we said, we created a virtual environment. We created .env where we store our Google API keys. Permit me, I might not show you this, okay, just because of the key, though it's free. Yeah, so we also have our requirement gathering, which we have Streamlit, Google. Sorry, we have Google.generative AI, Python.env. Okay, so these are the requirements that were used to develop this app. Okay, so here is the entire code that was used. Here we have to import Streamline as ST. Okay, like I said, this app, I developed this app using um, Streamline for the interface. Okay, so because um, I was going to use Google, so I use Google API keys I have to import Google.generative AI as Gen AI. Okay, this is the API key from Google. So I also imported OS from .env import load underscore .env for loading the environment variable. Like I said, I had to create an environment for the project. So I also use the PIL code to manage the image that the users will have to upload to the app for the app to run successfully. Okay, so this is the load.env environment. So I have to also configure the API key, which is the Google API key. Okay, so the API key is in the .env um, document. Okay, so here I have to stage a function to get generative response from the image, and I created a function that says get underscore Gemini respond input prompt image data. So this will have to capture the inputs as well as the image. Okay, which the app we use. And on this project, I use Gemini 1.5 Flash. Yeah, I know there's a new model. This has been updated. But in fact, I should just use this one. Okay. Yeah, so this will give me the response from my input, and the input is coming as the text. Okay. So I also define um, a function that will help to manage the uploaded files. Like I said, this function and this one handles the back end. If you look at the introductory session part of this project, okay. So here I said if uploaded file is null, that is, if the file that was uploaded is null, read the entire file as byte, okay, and this is the part of it, and it has to return this S return no file uploaded. So I use this to capture the headings of the application where the customer will use, or rather the users will interact with the application. And I gave three types of excuse me, I gave three types of file types that this project or this app can accommodate, which is um, JPEG, PNG, and JPG. Okay, so these are the three different types of file formats that this app can consume. So you can upload a PDF file, you can upload a Word, you can upload CSV, and all of that. Okay, yeah. So if an image is uploaded, display it on the app. So this is when the image is uploaded, and here is the width of the image that will be managed. Okay, and as we move further, we say submit. This will be the submit button where the user will have to click to submit the request. If submit, then capture the input and say you are an expert in nutrition, given the food item in the image, calculate. Yeah, so this is where we instruct the LLM model to tell us what we want. So we can also modify this input session to say, you know what, I'm age 45 and I am from this background, or I'm age 60 from this ethnic background. Analyze this image and advise if it's suitable for my consumption. So we can also modify this user prompt input. Okay, and at the end, that will be the final result. And here is what will be the composition, and will give us uh, a final response. So that's it. And thank you for taking your time to um, join me on this episode. So I look forward to having you again as I upload and develop a new application. So, what do you think about this project or this application? You can drop your comment, sharing your opinion about this application and probably your contribution. Thank you. Please stay tuned, subscribe, and share. Bye.